So here's something that we learned yesterday morning that's a harbinger of things to come. David Sirota says, new, buried in a New York Times report, is news that Biden played a key role in undermining progressives and helping McConnell have the stimulus bill, which is another sign that Biden's longtime austerity zealotry is alive and well. Don't say you weren't warned. This is actually really important. This is really important. So Joe Biden was behind the scenes partaking in these negotiations for this new stimulus bill. Now, we don't have the details on exactly which versions of the bill Biden had something to do with. But understand, we went from a situation where there were $1,200 stimulus checks, and then there were two versions of the bill. I think it was like Manchin and Romney or Manchin and McConnell. Two versions of the bill came out where there were no stimulus checks. They did a stimulus bill with no stimulus checks. That was on the table. That was one of the proposals. Because you had the most conservative Democrats negotiating with some of the most conservative Republicans. And oh, would you look at that? The people were the ones who got screwed the most in those bills. Now, when did Biden come in? How did Biden come in? Not exactly sure, but what we do know is he was one of the people to say to the Democrats, now, don't be unreasonable, y'all. Don't go too far. We have to be realistic here. And the realistic thing is to not demand a stimulus check of $1,200. And I don't know if his argument was, let's have a stimulus check with $0 or let's have a stimulus bill with $0 or just take half. Just take the 12, just get it down to 600. That's all we need. That's all we got to do. And then we could claim a brilliant bipartisan victory. Yeah! Bipartisanly screwing the American people and giving them crumbs. So, in other words, Biden stepped into the negotiation as a Democrat to argue on behalf of the Republicans. Come on, Democrats. That's too much money you want to give to the American people. Reduce that. Reduce it. Now, the twist in the story just sort of crystallizes how terrible the corporate Democrats are in a stunning way. Because it was Donald Trump who gave a speech saying, hey, here's a bunch of the terrible provisions of the bill. We're giving money to like Cambodia and all these places. I don't know why we're doing that. And I'm against this, and I want you to change the $600 to $2,000. So just so everybody understands, what you had was progressive Democrats who were calling for $2,000. That was their starting position. Let's do $2,000. And honestly, it's $2,000 a month from the progressive Democrats. Yeah, Josh Hawley and Bernie, who said $1,200 payments, and they fought really hard for it, right? And then you had Manchin and Democrats like Biden go, no, either 0 or 600. And even Trump steps in at the last minute to go, no, I want $2,000 checks, not $600 checks. And so now Trump is aligning with the progressive Democrats, actually, and with even Pelosi's in favor of the $2,000 checks. And now the pressure is put on Senate Republicans. But Donald Trump argued for stimulus checks that were bigger than what Joe Biden was arguing for behind the scenes. You know what's possible in politics? Whatever you think is possible, whatever you fight for being possible, you can lay down the terms of the negotiation and the conversation. You have the ability to do that. You just have to do it. You just have to make the arguments that make your case. Drag people to your position. Be forceful. Be aggressive. You know, sort of like a president at the last minute giving a speech saying, fuck your bill, 2,000. Now, he should have said that earlier on, right? Because they may have a veto-proof majority, which would be a little bit of a disaster if a bunch want 2,000 and we don't end up getting 2,000. But it says so much that, like, see, in Joe Biden's mind, I'm trying to be as kind as possible, right? Like, but in his mind, he thinks a bipartisan accomplishment in and of itself is the end-all be-all. So as long as he gets to go around and saying, I worked in a bipartisan way, yeah, they think bipartisanship is inherently noble and brilliant and genius and good, even if the bipartisanship is to deregulate Wall Street, for example, cut Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid. He thinks the fact that it's bipartisan means you should heap fawning praise on me. So in other words, the terms don't matter. The terms can be right-wing and corporate and terrible, hawkish in some instances, but it was bipartisan, and I did that. I brought people together, so everybody praised me. And even frickin' Trump pivoted to the left of Biden on the issue of stimulus checks, to the left of Biden on the issue of this bill. And you want to know the most embarrassing part, guys? It's not even Biden. The most embarrassing part of this is the media wrote fawning articles about how much of a serious adult Joe Biden is because he reduced the amount of stimulus money you're going to get. I'm not kidding. The whole point was Biden stepped in and told the Democrats to reduce the amount that they were asking for, and the serious adult in the room was able to get a deal done. And it was wonderful. Bipartisanship, yes. Go hungry, starve, get kicked out of your house. But Joe Biden made a bipartisan deal, yes. The media was slobbing on that knob. Slobbing on that wrinkly-ass knob. That's what they were doing. So easy to be a corporate Democratic president. Perpetually fuck up, always underachieve, always get half measures to the half measures, and then the media thinks you're the biggest genius on the planet, and they should put you on Mount Rushmore. Even Trump pivoted left of Biden on the stimulus check question. Even Trump! Oh! So this is what we know to expect this for the next 4 years. Biden will give Republicans everything they want and then frame it as a victory because bipartisanship. Aren't I such an adult? By giving people nothing but saying I got some sort of bipartisan deal. Terminal Washington brain is what this man has.